make it make sense. It don't have to make sense. That's the problem. It does not have to make sense. It just has to make dollars. We are in wild times right now. If you sleeping under a rock right now, I'm just going to inform you. This dude Shannon Sharpe, anybody that's into his show, Shay Shay, it's a very good show, very entertaining, and he's on ESPN. If you are not sleeping under a rock, you know that he just stepped away from ESPN or he might be let go. But this is a prime example of how you can lose so much so easy at the drop of a dime. He was about to do a deal for 100 million. 100 million. Not 200, not 300, 100 million. Doesn't have anything to do with ESPN. This is own production. And I'm not going to be the one to sit back and say that he fumbled the bag and he made some bad decisions, because one thing I can say about men and women, we click together when it comes to laying down with each other. The sexual chemistry is different, but it is definitely used against us, especially when somebody can get more success and be able to get the bag from you. I'm not going to play dumb and act like we don't know what kind of game this is, because remember, you can't hold anybody accountable on the woman's side in most cases when they have video footage of you and they using it against you to the public. It's a bad, harsh reality for a man to go through that's hard to fight for itself. And to fight for yourself for a situation like this is scary. So what makes it crazy is right now what's going on with Shannon Sharpe is it's very selective. Um, I say it's selective because we all know that he broke no laws, no actual laws. He didn't do anything. You can definitely see that it's a extortion tactic. But I'm going to talk about the things where he really failed at. And the places where he really failed, that a lot of men that's been out here in the dating world noticed that where he failed at, was the one area where you see the pause in the way she's talking to him. It's kind of, you can tell the setup. I'm going to tell you how you can tell the setup. When you listen to the footage and you listen to how she was talking to him, she was saying it in such a calm, but like she was being sexy, but at the same time, she was insinuating, but at the same time, insinuating, making a statement that he violated her. And when you listen to it, it's making you kind of like sit back and be like, wait a minute, why is she talking like that? So when you kind of think about it and you think about the role playing, anyone that's ever role play or you acting out, you can see how the setup is basically aiming for to see what his reply is going to be. When you listen to it, especially as men, when we listen to it, and even women know the game plan, and you listen and you say to yourself, oh yeah, he didn't even notice or pay attention to how the things were being said to him and how he replied and the pause. Let you know right then and there that he was being recorded. And even if he wasn't being recorded, it kind of make you wonder, especially in his position. But I'm going to tell you why, a lot of times, why dudes like this keep getting caught up. You've been rich for a long time. Don't let it fool you. He talks about he don't have no money. Shannon Sharpe has money. He's been in the NFL. He's a champion. And he's been doing things behind the scenes before ESPN. Like, they live this facade. But then when you look at the underlying traits that they was having in the background, you see that he was spending money. Wow. So what you see on TV is not really who they are. Not to say that they're fake, but you got to remember, when people are giving you information on TV or on YouTube, it's out there to put an image out there to bring in more people to have an audience. That's all it is. It's TV. It's for show. And we like it. But where the problems start to lie at is between men and women when we start to separate ourselves. A lot of men understand what what was going on. Men are attracted to young or middle. And at the same time, this is a guy with money, limited amount of funds, and he's able to put that out there and put it on, give it to whoever he want to give it to. He didn't break any laws that I know of. But I noticed with the woman, they seem to have a problem with the age. It's funny, have a problem with the age. That's not talked about on the other side. We talk about what the man do, but at the same time, it's not a blame game. It's just a game of two sexes colliding against one another and everybody taking sides. And the sad part about it is nobody broke the law. Only difference is nowadays he's been accused of something in order to get financial funds taken from him so the other party can prosper off of it. And that's the one thing about life that a lot of people, speaking of people of power, why you're starting to see a lot of people of power go down. And even when you look at his situation, I'm not saying it's the same as Puffy, but at the same time, his situation, no one has still proven anything of him taking anything from anybody. Only thing they can prove is assault, domestic violence. Nothing else. Everything else is just thrown at him to say that he's been doing these things, but no one has came up, and all the people that said that got thrown out and was looked to be a lie. So if you looking, I'm realizing now when we look at these celebs and we look at famous people or people that you think you can get advice from, you realizing that if you live under a rock and you don't understand real life, this is particularly for you. If you are a person that's been in closed doors a lot and you have not lived, you have not partied, you have not been able to have access to different, I'm just saying, like, I don't know your lifestyle, but from a person that used to be outside a lot, it's a lot of things that go on outside, especially when I was younger. And one thing I learned just being in high school, the young Jones was different, and they're no different than what they are today. They're not more different than the ones back then. The ones back then still were getting money from dudes in their 30s and 40s, being picked up from high school, messing with somebody that was in their 30s and 40s, messing with the dope boys. And it's funny because things have not changed. It's just looked like it's changed, but it has not. It's never changed. Problem is Shannon Sharpe. He got too successful. Too successful means too big for his bridges. Means he's going to be extorted. It's sad. I have not seen yet many men that become very successful not be extorted. And some people will look at this and say, well, how they extorted when the courts said that they violated somebody, took something from somebody, but they never proved it. But they said it in a court. Let's be real. The courts are always going to reside with the woman. It's a money play. It's not a thing of, oh, they trying to do what's right. It's not. No, it's not. Remember, they locked Bill Cosby up. And I thought to myself, Bill Cosby foul. Until I talked to my grandma. And I asked my grandma, I said, Grandma, I just asked her a simple question. I was just like, yo, Bill Cosby, like when they accused him of the things that he was doing back then, like, was he doing that, or like, did you used to hear about that? You know what she told me? She said, look, I don't know if he did it or not. She said, but at that time, that was the drug of choice. I'm like, wait a minute. So that was the drug of choice, like weed. She said weed was even out back then. She said, but weed was just regular. A lot of people smoke. She said, but that drug was of choice. Like, that's what they did. So when you speed up and you come into this era, that drug looked like a date rape drug. It looked like a drug that's used to take advantage. But in actuality, that's not really what it was. It was basically like almost like ecstasy. That's why I say, when you talk about things from people from back then, it's not really what it is. Because we don't live in that era. We look at an era of from where we at now, or from the younger. and look at somebody from their past era. You can't. You can't collide and put two eras together, but you can't. You cannot. Because it's different times. There's certain things that you don't do. There's certain things you do. It was a time when you seen the dope boy on the block all day. Well, guess what? That ain't flowing the same way like it used to be back then. You still got cats outside, but guess what? What they doing outside? Selling nothing. The ones that are selling something, they got to do it behind closed doors. Like, come on now. We got cameras everywhere. You seeing so many things happen. You seen the Majors. Remember Majors? He ran from his accuser. It showed on footage that he got violated. But what happened when it came to the courts? He got the money. He got all the bread. And now he has to basically get the world to look at him differently. But the world already seen it on footage. Did not matter. The courts deemed him what they deemed him. And all of a sudden, it become like a storybook. He's now dropped from Marvel. And it's like, why is he dropped? What did he do? Problem is, it don't matter what you did. It matters what you're accused of. And then it comes down to what you're accused of. And then it comes down to not even a court appeal. They're going to vote against you just in order to get your funds. It's all money play. Even with men, I noticed that even in some of them, they kept saying, yeah, like I remember I was listening to Cam and Mace, and Mace brought up, well, if it was a black girl, this is the problem with that. These are all jokes. But you know what's not a joke? You're seeing black women do it every day. You're seeing white women do it. It's not a black or white thing. It's not an Asian thing. You're seeing all women from all sorts of life do this. And you're seeing it a lot because we are in bad times right now. And people are struggling. And what's better than a struggle when you got a connection to somebody that got that money and you able to cash in off of an allegation? If you look at anybody that has resources, what's one thing that they all have in common? They all have sexual allegations. I've never seen so many men walking around today violating women, how they say. And it's not happening like that. Now, you can look at this and say, wait, how I know? I don't. But as a man, talk about other men, men do it. But you know another thing that happens too? A lot of women do it too. And they put themselves in positions so they can go ahead and set up that allegation. Even when they're sleeping with people. All of a sudden, you can sleep with somebody for 2 to 3 years. Move to them, even when they move to a whole nother state. But still turn around and say, you got violated twice. Go. We at a time now that those that have to make it make sense. We always used to say, make it make sense. It don't have to make sense. That's the problem. It does not have to make sense. It just has to make dollars. If it makes money for the lawyers, it's a cash flow. If it makes sense for the lawyers, everybody's getting paid. Everybody's going to walk away happy, except the person that has to pay.